So, another episode of PBR with Nate. I'm going to try to make this one shorter. I've been admonished by some people that apparently you can only hold somebody's attention for about 15 minutes, and that's the max. So, I'm going to try to keep this one shorter. And, hey, I'm taking the constructive criticism and running with it. Although when I get on my rant and on my subject, I could probably run off forever. But I'm trying to get a point across and I'm trying to help people, and you know, it's kind of cathartic for me. So, anyway, another PBR with Nate. Here's to you. Hope you had a good work day. I did. It's fantastic. I got to work today. I live in a fantastic economy. I get to pay my bills. I get to own my home. I get to do all those things because of what I did today. And so here we go. I might be tired. I might hurt a little bit. But you know what? It's fantastic. Work is good. So that being said, we're going to jump right into it. Um, I guess the subject I want to tackle now is billionaires. Okay, so here's something I've heard all of my life. Now I got to be on. I want to be honest with you, straight up, right up front. I have never ever voted for a Democrat ever. I'm 46 years old, so do the math. Um, I've always felt very strongly about that. Of course, when I was young, I was learning and I was doing this and I was doing that, but I've never voted for a Democrat. Um, I don't plan on ever voting for a Democrat, but that's beside the point. However, I will say this: I've had people in my life, very, very close to me, whom I respect deeply, including my stepfather. Um, who honestly was more of a father to me than anybody else. Um, who were dyed in the wool, who have been dyed in the wool Democrats, and they've said this and that and the other. So here's what the point I'm getting across on this. It's billionaires. So let's focus on that. So I've heard my entire life from Democrats, young and old, that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And all we're doing in this country under capitalism, under whatever else, that's just the rich get richer. And the middle class keep getting hit with all the taxes and this, that, and the other. And it's just an endless cycle of rich getting richer. Okay, so first point I want to bring up is this. And it's the most obvious one. I don't know, what is he, the fifth or sixth richest man in the world is now running for president as Democrat? Michael Bloomberg. Yeah. He's got like somewhere between 50 and 60, his worth between 50 and 60 billion dollars. Okay? That's obviously rich. Tom Steyer, whatever. He's a billionaire. I don't know how much he's got, but I know he's a billionaire because they keep talking about it. On both sides, Democrat and Republican pundits, everybody talks about it. He's a billionaire. Billionaire. Okay, so there you go. You have two Democrats, and one of them is a major, major contender, that are running for president, and This is coming from the party of we don't like the rich because the rich get richer. Okay, and another thing, and we're going to take it beyond the presidential race. So let's look at Jeff Bezos. We can look at, what's his name from Microsoft? Bill Gates. I can't even pronounce the name of the guy that founded eBay. So I'm not going to try to, because I don't want to do him a disservice. I don't want to disrespect him. But the founder of eBay. We can also talk about Zuckerberg. All of these billionaires, okay, with a B, they are all leftists. They're all liberal. They all fall down on the Democrat side of politics. So this is the problem I'm having. If the Democrat Party, and I'll even take it all the way back to Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Franklin Delano Roosevelt was in his time, he might as well have been a billionaire. And he was elected 4 times. So this is where I struggle with the Democrat Party and the liberal, somewhat leftist ideals. You want to say that you are the party of the worker. You're the party of the working man, the blue-collar man. You're trying to get them a leg up and trying to help them out in society. Okay. Well, if I take you at face value, I believe you. Okay, I believe you. I'm right there with you. I'm in it to win it with you. Okay, so let's do that. So then we look at, okay, the policies. Have they worked out? Have they helped out the working man? Have they helped out the blue-collar worker? Have they helped out any of those things? Well, let's take a quick, simple examination. Let's look at a city like, Detroit. Oh, and I know what you're going to say. Well, they always bring up Detroit and blah, 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 and it's because these rich people and this, that, and the other. No, it's not. It has nothing to do with them. Well, it has something to do with them. But Detroit has been historically a Democratic-run city. Democrat mayor, Democrat city councilman, alderman, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I'm just saying. And for years, Detroit has looked like a third world country. I've actually been there. And don't ever want to go back. Really, I do not. So, look at Chicago. You talk about the south side of Chicago. We talk about, the gun control. Everybody talks about gun control, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Gun control obviously doesn't work in Chicago. But bottom line is this overrun with gangs and with violence and this, that, and another. And I can't remember if I spoke about what's happening in San Francisco, where they are literally defecating in the streets in front of high-end restaurants where people are trying to eat their frittatas for brunch on Sunday morning. LA, it just goes on and on and on and on. Austin, Texas is getting this. This is Texas. Austin, Texas is coming close to what San Francisco and things like that is happening. Atlanta. Well, no, I don't even want to bring Atlanta into it yet, but Houston, Texas. The mayor is under federal investigation, and just while he's under federal investigation, got reelected. By the way, New Orleans, Louisiana, Latoya Cantrell. She is way, 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 way behind on her taxes. And they've got a hotel, the Hard Rock Hotel, that was being built, and through payoffs and kickbacks and whatever, the inspectors let terrible, shoddy construction things go by, and now it's leaning against the building next to it. And there are 2 dead bodies in it that they can't get them out because it would be too unsafe. And it's been sitting like that for damn near a year. Let's see what else. Seriously. It's just, and Atlanta is similar. You can go to any of those and see the corruption and everything else, but you want to talk about the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. So let's talk about that. So the biggest billionaires in the entire world are the ones are backing the Democrat Party. Are backing, and one of them is actually running for president himself. Are backing this party. We look at the cities that they control, and they're terrible. There's tons of corruption. And I want to ask you a question. In these cities, for the most part, are the poor gaining any ground? Are they benefiting? And I hazard to guess, this is just my opinion, just from what I follow. I follow the news pretty much, but I do still have to work and, feed my kids and do stuff like that. But I don't see them benefiting. So now, we see what's happened at the top. We're in a booming economy. Taxes lowered, regulations taken off, this, that, and the other. You know who the biggest wage earners, the biggest wage earners are right now? Under a conservative, Republican, whatever. I don't care what you call it. The biggest wage earners right now are the ones on the lower end of the scale. You know who's not earning as much? The ones on the top end of the scale. So let me ask you this. Under the current administration, under a conservative type, economy, capitalist economy, who is benefiting the most currently? It would be the poor, who are now, the poor are getting richer, and the rich are at least at the very medium staying the same. So I do not agree with the argument of the rich get richer, poor get poorer, under conservative, under capitalism. You can forget that. As soon as you let the economy loose and you let capitalism do what it's supposed to do, then everybody benefits. Not just the rich, not just the poor, not just the middle class, everybody. And so that's what we're seeing. So now, when you cast that vote, and this is directed to my Democrat friends, who I love very much, and who I consider family, and who I would die for, who I put my life on the line for. When you cast that vote, think about that. Think about the Bloombergs. Think about the Bernie Sanders, who is he is an absolute communist. There's no doubt. He took his honeymoon in Soviet Russia. And praised bread lines. and praised the transportation system that kept people down. But anyway, I'm just saying, I'm trying not to chase rabbits here. Let's see, Mayor Pete, who wrote a paper when he was younger about Bernie Sanders and how he loved him. That was his hero. And listen, I don't like crony capitalism where two people get together and the one guy in Washington and the one guy in business, and then they decide they're going to just. That's fascism. I mean, seriously, it's not. I don't even call it crony capitalism. That is fascism. But capitalism, true, honest to goodness, capitalism works. It works. It works. It works. Let me tell you something. We are now one of the greatest exporters of oil on the face of this earth. Our gas prices have remained steady since those regulations were cut. Now our gas prices have remained steady. They've fluctuated here or there, 10 cents here, 10 cents there, 10 cents here, 10 cents there. We hadn't seen those $4 a gallon. We hadn't seen this. So, I mean, come on. So, to all of my Democrat friends who say that under capitalism and under a Republican president and a Republican-controlled House and all this, whatever, that the only thing that's going to happen is the rich going to get richer and the poor are going to get poorer, I say, really pay attention to the economy and watch what is happening. And look at who is backing your candidates. It's the ultra-rich who are backing your candidates. The ultra-rich isn't backing the Republican candidates. The ultra-rich are backing the Democrat candidates. And you know why? Because under a Marxist, socialist, leftist society, the bourgeoisie, whatever you want to call them, you can call them the pigs from Animal Farm. There are those that are more equal. That's what I'm getting at. We're all equal, but there are some that are more equal than others. And that's what we're talking about. Capitalism doesn't see color, it doesn't see race, it doesn't see poverty level, it doesn't see any of that. Capitalism sees capitalism, and it sees anybody who wants to be anybody. I don't understand Jeff Bezos being a leftist, because Jeff Bezos was some nerdy guy in high school that probably had too many pimples on his face and couldn't get a woman or anything else. And then he goes into his garage and he figures out, I can sell books and I can do this and I can do this and I can use the internet. I'll write this algorithm. I'll do this. And next thing you know, he's divorcing his wife, who actually funded his early life, and goes for somebody hotter, I suppose. That is capitalism. He went from zero, I mean a serious zero. He was nothing. Who in the hell ever heard of Jeff Bezos? There is no old money Bezoses. There you go. That's capitalism. And that's any one of us can do the same thing. It's called American exceptionalism, and it's called that we all have the individual rights. So, think about it. Anyway, just saying, appreciate y'all. Here's to y'all. Hope y'all have a good tomorrow, and hope you've had a good day today. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please like and comment on the videos, whatever. Hey, there's plenty of folks out there to make money on YouTube. Why can't I? But I'm not looking for that. Just want to pass my ideas along. So here's to all of y'all. and Epstein didn't kill himself.